We're with Coach Shawn Nadelen of the men's lacrosse team, and Coach, you played at Hopkins. You know what it's like. Such a tradition program. How important are these rivalries with games like Johns Hopkins, Loyola, UMBC to Towson's program?
I think they're tremendously important on many different levels. One, just being the Baltimore area schools that are very competitive amongst Division I lacrosse opponents. Again, with recruiting, that's a huge plus as well, playing against these teams, and you recruit against the same schools for the same players, and you all want to have bragging rights when it comes down to making the phone calls with these kids, or writing them emails or letters, and making them understand that you're right there in the mix, if not beating these teams yearly. So the importance of the in-state Maryland rivalries, Hopkins, Loyola, UMBC, Maryland, I think are tremendously important. And just with everybody being on Charles Street with Loyola and Hopkins and Towson, those are just tremendous rivalries in themselves, is that they're so close to each other. The guys know each other from being close in proximity, probably seeing each other, having played against each other through high school, maybe on the same team. So there's a lot at stake when these teams get together.
Having played there and now coaching at Towson, I mean, you know so much about the rivalries. How important is this game to you to go back to where you played ball and get that win and kind of establish Towson now as a real force in lacrosse again?
Yeah, well, every win for us is a big win at Towson, definitely. We go out there every game and looking to compete and battle no matter who the opponent is. Obviously, with Hopkins being on the schedule, it brings out a little bit more energy. The coaches are there that coached me through college, and there's always that kind of mentor and student kind of battle that you always have, and I have a lot of respect for them and for what they do. But on the flip side, we do our best every day and step out there and prepare our guys just the way that they do, and get out there on the field and battle, and we're going to put our best foot forward when it gets out there, and whether it be Hopkins or Maryland or whoever it is. But Hopkins is always a big one because it's usually towards the end of our season and regular season schedule. So we want to make sure that we are going into the playoffs on a high note, and always battling to get that big win, because they're usually top 5 ranked at that time of the year.
Hopkins is kind of like the Duke of men's basketball. It's you always have that great crowd and people are going crazy. The band's counting every goal. So the atmosphere over at Homewood is just always remarkable. How important is that to get that atmosphere here on Wednesday night when you play Hopkins? Get that record-setting crowd in this stadium, the lights on, just kind of lifting the team up just to start knowing that the school and the students are out supporting them.
Yeah, I think as far as the crowd atmosphere at Towson University, especially at Johnny Unitas Stadium, can be just a huge advantage for our program, our men's lacrosse team. I've played at Homewood, coached against them at their field, and I'd put our stadium right up there against theirs. I think we have a tremendous facility here at Towson. We have a great scoreboard that the fans can come and see, the replays and up close plays. It's like coming to an NFL game or one of the major sports teams around the area. So I think coming here and having the energy and getting our guys all jacked up for the game can be a huge advantage for us, knowing that the university and fans and the alumni and everybody is supporting us, the students that our guys go to classes with every day, having them standing in the crowd and seeing them in the stands cheering for them can be such an uplifting experience for our program and for our guys that can really bring us to another level, and I think really elevate Towson University and our men's lacrosse program to where it needs to be against those programs that we battle against that have a little bit more maybe tradition-rich environments that they can kind of fall back upon. I think we need to really start building that basis for us here at Towson.
These two teams have such a long-standing rivalry, but Towson has been on the losing side the last several years. How important is it to you as a coach to kind of get back on that winning track, so that when you look at that schedule, it's not a game that you're dreading. You're just like, this is a win. We won last year. We can win this year. It takes the program in that new direction. How important is that to get back on that winning side?
Yeah, I mean, there's you look at your schedule in the beginning of the year when you set it, and you kind of earmark a few of the opponents, and this is definitely one of them. for the reasons I've stated as far as in-state and down-the-street rivals. But coming against this program and knowing what they represent and what they have accomplished usually to this point in the season, being able to win this game is a huge catapult for us, and for them to have the advantage over us the past few years definitely leaves a sour taste in our mouths, our players' mouths, and we've been right in those games, and we know we're right on the brink, and it comes down to just sharpening up our game and focusing that much more and not making maybe a few of those mistakes that we make that give them those slight advantages. And we're right there. And then instead of everybody saying, oh, Hopkins edged out Towson again by a couple goals, it's, hey, Towson finally did it. You know, they took care of Hopkins, and, you know, they've been on the brink over the past few years, but, you know, they finally stepped up and knocked down that big giant.
All right, Coach. Well, we wish you luck and like to see you knock down that giant on Wednesday.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.